Welcome back to 88.1 The Berg, your news central. I could not be more excited for who our guest is today, and I'm so grateful she took the time out of her incredibly busy schedule to stop by The Berg. She is constantly looking out for our best interest here in Ellensburg. In fact, it is her job, and she is fantastic at it. Her accomplishments are too many to name, but just to give you a taste of her busy schedule, she chairs the city's Utility Advisory Committee and serves on the Kittitas County Developmental Disability Committee. She also serves on the Yakima Basin Fish and Wildlife Recovery Board and is the council liaison for the Environmental Commission. But most importantly, we know her as our mayor. Please welcome the mayor of Ellensburg, Mayor Nancy Lillquist. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Well, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you're a Central alum. Go Cats. Why did you decide to come back to Ellensburg?
Well, my husband got a job here, so he is a geography professor. So there's a connection there. And after he got his PhD, his first job was in Iowa. We were in Iowa when our first son was born. And my mom got sick and had cancer, so we wanted to get back out here so we could be close and she could spend some time with the grandkids. So we did that, and she passed within months of us coming back. So, yeah.
Well, you must have liked Ellensburg enough to come back.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's very nice to be able to come back to Ellensburg, and Carl's an alum here too. We were both graduate or geography students here. So
was that your major?
My major was geography. His major was geography and geology. But yeah, it was very fun to come back.
A match made in heaven, a central.
That's right.
Central romance.
And to be able to raise our kids here has just been the best.
Well, you have been on city council since 2001. What other positions have you served on?
Well, I was on the library board before being elected to the council. And I always encourage folks who are running or who want to be appointed to council to serve on one of our committees or commissions first, just to get a sense of the city, to get some knowledge about how it operates, and to kind of show the council who you are. It's a good transition.
Mm-hmm. And when were you officially elected mayor?
Well, in January, but I also served in 2008 and 2009. So the mayor in Ellensburg is elected from the council, so the council elects the mayor to lead us. We are not elected mayor by the general population. The voters elect us all to council, and then we select.
Got it. Now, everyone knows what the mayor is in general terms, like the leader of our city, but can you speak in specifics as far as some of your job duties that those who may not understand what a mayor does on a day-to-day basis?
Well, the mayor presides over the council meetings, first and foremost, but also sets the agenda with the city manager about what is going to be on the council agenda. The mayor also does some ceremonial stuff that a lot of the other council members don't get to do, like interviews with the Berg.
Yeah.
And ribbon cuttings and making speeches and stuff like that.
And is it a 4-year term?
It is 2 years. So every 2 years there are, half of the council is elected or reelected, and each new council gets the opportunity to elect its own mayor.
Well, what made you want to, run for mayor?
Well, we just hired a new city manager, Heidi Barron-Cernaway, and I was excited about the opportunity to work closely with her to lead this city and our next steps. She's got great energy, she's got great vision, and I'm very happy to be working closely with her.
What are some of the goals that you want to accomplish during your term?
Well, in September, the council had we actually came up here to the Wellington Center and set kind of our strategic vision. So there's 5 main goals, strategies around housing, economic development, safe, inclusive community, sustainable energy and sustainable infrastructure. So, I could get into any one of those if you'd like, but that's what we want to accomplish is to move those initiatives forward.
And as far as policies that the previous mayor, Bruce Tabb, put into place, are there any of those that you'd like to expand upon?
All of them. It's just a continuation.
Right.
With our new city manager and taking advantage of her background in communications, maybe the only new thing is our emphasis on communication and really trying to get our story out and to also get more feedback directly from different groups of residents. So we've initiated like the Be Heard Ellensburg, Be Heard Eberg surveys that you might have seen online, and we're updating our webpage and things like that. We want to be more user-friendly and really have a two-way conversation with residents.
And I know one of the things that you're really involved in is bike paths and accessibility within the city of Ellensburg. So have you made the city more accessible for students who choose to walk or bike to class?
I hope so. You've done your homework.
I have.
Yeah.
Did some research.
Good for you. I've been really interested in, making sure when we get new subdivisions that the neighborhoods connect to each other. We want to build a community, not just a bunch of houses. And so having those connections between neighborhoods and then also making sure that folks can get where they want to go easily has been a priority. And of course, we've always required, well, not always, but we require sidewalks, and that's, a little bit of the walkability. But back in 2007, 6 or 7, I kind of dove deep into how do you create a walkable community, and it has to be the connections have to be there physically, but it also has to be safe and attractive. And so the crossings matter, the buffer. I mean, you can have a sidewalk, but if it is right against 35-mile-an-hour traffic, it doesn't feel safe. So having that little bit of grassy strip in between you and the passing cars makes a difference. So our new neighborhoods have to be built that way. We've got a active transportation plan that I was instrumental in the first round, and then it's been updated by a consultant. And so we have our priorities, and we have a map of where the bike lanes are going to go, and that's being followed. We've got some great projects going on. We've been incrementally trying to reconnect the Palouse Cascades Trail. So if you've been out, I guess, east of Alder, it connects at 14th.
Yeah.
And our next project that'll, I think it's just gone out to bid, will be the segment to get you from 14th to the Palouse Cascades Trailhead by the fairgrounds. So once that's complete, you'll be able to go, just about to Idaho on the Palouse Cascades Trail from your place up of Alder, Sanders Mill, and up there. We're also putting a bike lane in on Helena.
Is that what's happening right now with the construction? I know there's construction happening on Helena. I don't know if it's related to.
I believe it is related to that, yes.
Okay.
To that.
I've seen that. I kind of live around there. So that's something I drive by all the time.
Yeah. I think they're doing some preliminary work with moving some utilities before that happens. But, we've got the 7th Avenue Bike Boulevard, so it's a protected lane, so you can go east-west across town. Soon, there'll also be what we call the Gateway Project on University Way. So from, Weenass Street to, like, the Red Horse Diner and out there, that will have a shared wide sidewalk bikeway. It will be a lot more comfortable than biking along University Way.
Is there a reason why one of your priorities are these safer walking and biking trails?
Well, I've biked, so when I used to work in Salt Lake City, Utah, and Portland, Oregon, I would bike to work. But I think it's probably because when I joined the council, I had a kindergartner, and so I started looking at some of the projects, some of the new subdivisions through a kid's eyes. It's so if we don't connect these neighborhoods, then my kid lives here and his best buddy lives over here, and he's got to go all the way out to the main arterial and up and around to get to his buddy's house. And, maybe it's only one lot away, in between them. But if you're not going to trespass on someone else's lot, then, you got to make those connections. So that's kind of probably where it mostly comes from.
Well, in an article, again, more research, in an article with Data Record, you said that the Clean Energy Transformation Act and the Climate Commitment Act will have a huge impact on the way Ellensburg utilities operate. Could you explain a little bit about what these acts do and how they're important to Ellensburg?
Sure. I just want to explain, Ellensburg is unique in that it has its own electric utility and gas utility. In most cities, you would be paying some outside private company, Puget Power, PSE, to get power or gas, and often they're separate entities. It's been very good for Ellensburg to have that, but we're pretty small in the scale of utilities, right? But the state has set goals consistent with reducing our carbon footprint with, I think, the Kyoto Protocol. Essentially, we need to act fast to get our carbon emissions down. And the Clean Energy Transformation Act, which it's been implemented for a couple of years, and it basically says we have targets for purchasing clean energy. So it's only the electric utility. So we just purchase our electricity. Very little of it comes from our solar farm, our solar park out by the interchange and Rotary Park. Most of it comes from Bonneville Power Administration. So a lot of it is hydro. So we meet those targets already. That one's fairly easy, other than there's some other requirements for protecting low-income folks that we have to just do the paperwork on. But the Climate Commitment Act is on the gas side. So our gas utility is expected to reduce our emissions by 50% by 2030. So just in 8 years, we have to make some big changes in how we operate that utility. And there's just a lot of questions
of how you guys are going to do that.
How do we do that? And there's two options. Green, they call it green gas, kind of carbon-free gas, but it doesn't seem ready. It's going to be, they predict, very expensive. I don't know where we get that. And then there's electricity. So, but that means asking a lot of homeowners to change their furnaces and stoves and water heaters from a gas to electric. And then I don't know where the electricity comes from, frankly. I mean, we buy from Bonneville, but if everyone is shifting, all the communities across the state are shifting away from gas furnaces to electric furnaces, where does the electricity come from? Will there be enough? And keep in mind that we only need it in the winter when solar power is less effective. So there's a lot less solar energy in the winter, so I'm not sure how that fills the gap.
Where does that solar energy go?
Are you
talking about?
Our solar farm?
Yes.
It comes into our grid and supplements the power that we would maybe not have to. So it's a little bit of power that we don't have to buy from Bonneville.
Got it. And do we get a lot of wind energy here? I know I see like all the windmills. I don't know.
Ellensburg Utility does not buy directly into those wind farms. To the extent that Bonneville Power is buying some of that energy, we would benefit. But I actually am, they have a percentage, but I don't know if it's coming from our wind farms or some other wind farms.
Got it. And I was kind of reading up on a Unity Park design. Could you tell me a little bit of what that is, what the plans are there?
So we just, the other night, approved a contract for a consultant to do the design and also the outreach. So we want folks to weigh in on what it is we want that park to look like and what kinds of features we want there. And we did a little bit of that a couple years ago, but now we have funding. So we've said that the coronavirus money that's coming from the federal government, I can't remember the name of it, that some of that money is going to go to do that park. That was our downtown association and merchants said that that's going to be the most impactful thing that we can do to bring our economy back, particularly the folks who took the biggest hits during the lockdowns.
Where is that park? Would it be located?
Oh, it is on 4th and Pearl. So do you know where the bull is? The bull
Yes.
statue? That's the park.
Oh, and
Yeah,
what would that
so
kind of look
right
like?
downtown.
Is it just a place to hang
Well,
out? Is it?
the idea is that, yeah, a place to hang out and maybe, maybe there's tables so you can get takeout and eat there. Maybe there's some play things to do with kids, but in big picture, we want it to be event space. I mean, that is traditionally where we have Jazz in the Valley and the rodeo pancake breakfast, and there's events that have always kind of taken place there, and so we want to build the park to facilitate that. So there might be a stage and some bathrooms and maybe a concession. Those kinds of things.
Got it. One of Central's biggest values is diversity, inclusive environment. I know the City Council has its own Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity Commission. What do they do to help promote diversity in the city of Ellensburg?
Yeah, so we have just created that a year or maybe a little more than a year ago, and they've worked hard to kind of embed those values into our comprehensive plan, which is, it's the document that states the city's vision for itself. This is what we want to be. So that's been completed just at the end of last year, and we just at our last meeting adopted a land acknowledgement statement, recognizing that the land that the city sits on was originally inhabited by the Kittitas and Peshawanapan peoples, and acknowledging that the stewardship for that land. So the committee is developing a work plan, but they're very interested in developing some partnerships and want to develop more multicultural kinds of events. They're looking for ideas for programming. They're trying to network kind of into some of the communities that we don't often hear from at the City Council, and bring them in to become more vocal, and kind of looking at the decisions that the city makes kind of through an equity lens more. And they're also doing, we started this effort with having like small group discussions with different folks, and they're continuing that. So if there are students and who want to engage with them,
With the commission,
they should let me or Nancy Goodlow, the chair of that commission, know, and we can set that up.
And how would they do that if they were interested in, being a part of the Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity Commission?
If they want to, well, it would be like a listening session, just
like a meeting.
Yeah, like let's talk about issues that we see, from our perspective, kind of thing. And the way we had done it a couple of years ago was with a kind of set of leading questions. What do you like about Ellensburg and what don't you like, or where do you feel safe and where do you not feel safe here? Kinds of things. If they want to participate, contact again me, Nancy Goodlow, or if you go to our website and look up the DEI Commission, there's a staff person, Nicole Klaus. You can find her email.
I know you were just, recently elected mayor, so this can count as, your whole time on City Council, but what achievement are you most proud of?
The streets, the connectivity issues, making sure that when we do new subdivisions, they are connected to each other and not separate enclaves of houses.
And during your term, How would you like the school and community to interact?
Collaboratively in
Right?
a partnership. We, it's kind of about communication, which we have done in the past, and especially like supporting each other's legislative priorities, but, mostly just communicating. And I know that our city manager has been in regular meetings with either the president or Andreas Bowman about planning. The university is, not only our major employer in Ellensburg, but also this huge physical presence, so just
Student population, yeah.
Yeah, well, the population, which totally changes our demographics, right? But just physically, there's this making sure our roads and utilities and all of that connect the way you guys vision it and we envision it, and
What does like your day-to-day life look like as a mayor? How does that work?
Meetings.
Is it meetings on meetings, and now it's Zoom
meetings on meetings? Yeah, and then answering emails.
Emails. You responded to my email very quickly. I was shocked.
It's kind of like it gets lost if I don't do it right away.
What are some words of advice that you would offer to college students? I know you were here back in the day at Central.
Yeah.
What is some advice that you would offer to college students?
Come downtown, take advantage of what we have to offer, engage. There are so many different organizations, not just the city's boards and commissions that you could serve on, but I was talking to someone from the paper just the other day, and it's like, if you're interested in working with youth, there's all kinds of opportunities for coaching and for, being a ref, and you can get some experience and put that on your resume. There's arts, there's community theater, there's music stuff, there's, in your spare time, when you're not studying, there's lots to do in Ellensburg, and you get to know community members that way.
All right. Well, we are gonna get right into our question game, and our question game is kind of silly questions, just get to know the mayor of Ellensburg. So you just be honest. These are silly questions, just kind of get to know you questions. What was your favorite TV show growing up?
Bewitched.
Bewitched.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have. What is it?
Does
What was
that
that show?
date me? A witch.
A witch.
Yeah, who was married to a regular guy, and
I like it.
so yeah.
What Disney princess would you want to be best friends with?
Oh my.
There's a lot of options nowadays.
Well, yeah, and many of them that I have not seen, the movies. Who is the mermaid character?
Ariel.
Ariel.
Oh,
yeah.
being friends with the mermaid would be
Yeah,
fun.
that would be fun.
Who is your favorite superhero? Do you have a favorite superhero? Are you one of those Marvel fans? I'm a Marvel fan personally.
Yeah, I can only think of like Batman and Superman and Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but there's Catwoman, right? And
Yes.
I need a female.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman,
Mhm.
yeah.
There's the Captain Marvel nowadays. I mean, there's all kinds of superheroes with this
Yeah.
these Marvel movies.
I've seen a few of them, but not
I'm a
not
crazy,
all of them.
I'm a crazy Marvel fan.
Okay.
So, what are you irrationally afraid of? Like, what is kind of your like weirdest fear?
Well, I don't know if it's weird, but heights. I mean,
Right.
I am afraid of heights.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mine is well, I wouldn't consider it new, but sharks recently.
Oh.
I've been watching a lot of documentaries, and I'm nowhere near an ocean that has sharks.
Right. Yeah.
I'm in the middle of Washington, but sharks, I don't know why. That has been my irrational fear. If you could invite 3 people to dinner, living or dead, who would you invite? 3 people to dinner.
Eleanor Roosevelt.
That's a good one.
Maybe like Frederick Douglass would be interesting. Madeleine Albright.
Good
Yeah.
3 answers.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting dinner.
It would be.
All right, and our favorite question. What would be your weapon of choice in a zombie apocalypse, and it has to be something in your bathroom? I know these questions get pretty weird.
Trying to think what's in my bathroom. How about the scrub, the back scrubber brush?
Ooh, that's a good
Yeah.
one. Long enough to keep the zombies
That's right.
away?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could poke them in the eye. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, that is all we have for our Wildcat one-on-one today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Well, we will be back with more news on Monday at 9 a.m. on Your News Central. See you then.